Please subscribe.
The 2020 Lexus LC isn't a vehicle for contemplative people. Its sharp lines attract consideration even in the most packed parking areas, and its colossal power places it in veritable games vehicle domain. It's not great, yet it does numerous things especially well. We rate the 2020 LC at 7 out of 10. The 2020 LC inclines more toward comfort than it does execution, however, its straight-line speeding up is on the cusp of superstardom. The base LC 500 is the quicker and rawer of the two renditions because of its 471 torque 5.0-liter V8 that mixes control rearward with a snappiness through a 10-speed program transmission. Decide on the pricier LC 500 hours and you'll taste fuel like a subcompact hatchback while passing the entryways over of most sports vehicles. The experience isn't as instinctive as that of the LC 500, however, so test drive both before choosing. Either form of the LC is a heavyweight, however, they handle strongly in routine driving and winding streets. The weight makes itself known on tight ravine streets, the sort of spot where far more honed games autos, for example, the Porsche 911 and Jaguar F-Type will all the more anxiously frolic. The LC betters those on the open street, notwithstanding, where its agreeable suspension digests asphalt with no requirement for stomach-settling agents. This year, the LC lineup is accessible with another green paint conspire that accents its sharp lines incredibly well. No LC is a loner, and the dashing, cutting-edge inside matches the spaceship outside. With a value that hits 6 digits with a speed, the LC needs for little. Vulnerable side screens are recently standard, however despite everything you won't discover Android Auto similarity. The 10.3-inch show that sits high on the vehicle's scramble resembles a diamond, in any event until you begin to utilize it. A mulish controller and a perplexing interface are made just marginally better by standard Apple CarPlay similarity and Amazon Alexa combination. Siri, disclose to Lexus its infotainment needs a patch-up. Even though it isn't a typical sight, the 2020 Lexus LC has gotten comfortable. That doesn't mean we're any less stricken with it today than we were the point at which it appeared for the model year 2018. We rate this knockout at 10 out of 10. The 2020 LC channels its LFA antecedent with its rakishness, but then figure out how to look undeniably progressively refined at a fourth of the supercar's unique sticker price. The thing that matters is in the subtleties. Fine surface completions and multifaceted nature where it's required most make the LC the sort of vehicle worth poring over for a considerable length of time. A few features incorporate what's Lexus' best axle grille combination yet, the adjusted states of its window patterns, and the mind-boggling head and taillight structures. Skirt the invisible girl whites, blacks, and silvers, and dive further into the unobtrusive shading palette Lexus offers. It's a disgrace that the automaker doesn't have a custom paint program like Porsche, be that as it may. The current year's new flare yellow is sharp, yet we're stricken with the nori green tint Lexus paints on its new, constrained run LC Inspiration Edition. Only 100 are set to be constructed for this present year, so you might be in an ideal situation trusting that a delicately utilized one will appear. Inside, the LC is similarly daring. It's an individual extravagance roadster with a scramble situated to the pilot. The scramble itself sits low, with a high-mounted screen constrained by a fiddly mouse-like game plan on the inside comfort. Spend extra for gentler calfskin and the historical center quality completions Lexus offers, they're worth the expense. A stout control weight that is as overwhelming as some well-prepared wilderness rompers keep the 2020 Lexus LC down with regards to execution, even though the vehicle's skeleton flaunts a ride that fringes on flawlessness. We rate the 2020 LC at 8 out of 10. Hurling the skilled handler focuses for its increasing speed, its ride quality, and its noteworthy corner cutting. If Lexus shaved 800 pounds, the 2020 LC would score much higher. The LC comes in two underhood flavors, LC 500 with a Detroit-grade 5.0-liter V8 evaluated at 471 strength and 398 pound-feet of torque sent rearward through a smooth 10-speed program transmission. The LC 500 hours half and half is propelled by a 3.5-liter V6 cooperated with an electric engine and a battery useful for 354 horsepower. Specs cited are with 91-octane fuel or higher. The customary V8 gives the best push and a soundtrack that is among the best in the business. Its 10-speed program carries on well, however periodically it can feel like it's managing a couple of machine gear pieces such a large number of as it rearranges between gears for roadway passing. Stick with the LC 500 hours if you work for an eco-accommodating firm and need to stop a crossover in the part. The 44 kilowatt lithium particle battery includes poundage. However, the stunt 4-speed programmed transmission attached to a constant factor programmed transmission, CVT, carries on pointedly to convey tremendous quickening. Drive modes open at the tap of a catch excite or mollify the powertrain, and a custom mode considers singular fitting. Wound the throttle and either powertrain vaults the huge car to 60 miles per hour in 4.4 seconds, 4.7 seconds for the 500 hours, with the LC500, by and large, giving more grounded passing force. The enormous car has probably the best directing-to-leave parent organization Toyota's steady in years, bettering even the new Supra. Wide tires give tremendous, unflappable hold once the LC changes its weight. The large brakes make it an appropriate track tamer, as well. However, we question many will hit shot courses. Underneath, the LC's delicate suspension swallows harsh asphalt superior to even the delicately sprung LS car with which it shares extensive DNA. The discretionary performance package changes the directing proportion, includes dynamic back wheel guiding, a back wing that conveys its speed and a carbon fiber rooftop. We're fine with the standard vehicle, however, we'd be slanted to include the $350 torsion restricted slipback differential. There's no LCF form, and we don't know there should be one. Except if you once in a while convey more than a folder case, don't consider the 2020 Lexus LC as a helpful day-by-day driver. You'll most likely need something different in your carport. We give it focuses better than expected for breathtaking front seats and inside completions comparable to the world's ideal. However, then we take those back because of the pointless back seats and trunk. The 2020 LC rates 5 out of 10 for solace and quality. The front seats offer an immense cluster of modifications and give throughout the day support. The back seats may suit babies, however good karma recovering a youngster seat there. In any event, stuffing a knapsack or duffel pack behind the front seats is a test. With simply 5.4 cubic feet of payload space, 4.7 cubic feet in the crossover, the LC isn't helpful for an air terminal run, either. It may not be down to earth, however, the LC is finely wrapped up. Delicate calfskins spread each surface not embellished with striking trim boards. Lexus offers a couple of inside tints, even though the degree of adaptability that requires Porsche purchasers to shut out a couple of days for shading determinations is tragically inadequate. The 2020 Lexus LC sharp lines haven't been wrinkled by the FS or the NHTSA, so we can't dole out a well-being score. Given its low deals volume, it's not likely Lexus' enormous car will be tried at any point shortly. This year, vulnerable side screens join a program of the impact evasion and uninvolved well-being tech we hope to see on vehicles with sticker prices this high. Programmed crisis braking with the person on foot identification, dynamic path control, path takeoff admonitions, and different airbags are for the most part standard. A head-up show and a framework that stops the LC consequently are discretionary, and the last would be a keen decision for those worried about scratching the Roadster's large wheels. Chances are you won't locate a 2020 Lexus LC for a lot under $100,000, which makes its cost of passage higher than a considerable lot of its rivals. For that cash, the LC doesn't need excessively, however Android clients are forgotten about exposed. We rate the 2020 LC at 7 out of 10 for its list of capabilities. The base LC500 goes around $94,000, while the LC500 hours half and half expense is about $4,500 more. This year, vulnerable side screens are recently standard. The spec sheet as of now incorporates calfskin upholstery, Pioneer speakers, and a 10.3-inch show with Apple CarPlay similarity, Bluetooth, and Amazon Alexa reconciliation. Alternatives incorporate different styling redesigns, an amazing Mark Levinson sound framework, and a restricted slipback differential. The infotainment framework is a rec made just marginally better with Apple CarPlay empowered. The fiddly controller is a steady weight, and the stout menus are diverting, best case scenario. The 2020 Lexus LC has 2 efficiency stories to tell. We rate the lineup at 5 out of 10 dependent on the 27 miles per gallon city, 35 parkway, 30 consolidated collected by the LC500 hours, great figures for an exhibition vehicle with this sort of intensity. The standard LC500 is a guzzler, however, it's not as parched as its strength would recommend. It's evaluated at 16/25/19 of a mile per gallon. Regardless of what's driving the car, the 2020 LC is intended to utilize premium unleaded fuel,